It has been 16 years since the fire. The burn is no longer a black hole in the forest, but a swath of fresh greenery, lower than the unburned portions, but obviously returned to vitality. The smell of charcoal has long left the air. After an exceptionally wet spring with more than 150 centimeters of rain, the summer has been hot and dry with vigorous forest growth. It is early fall now, and the stream is invisible from the ridge, although there is a sense of it, a line of glossy green, flowing among the dark trunks and writhing roots of the forest floor. The forest is still quiet, but it is not the silence of death as after the fire, but rather the stillness of rest, of waiting. Western red cedars and a few big leaf and vine maples have grown in the burn and now form part of the forest community. For a short distance along the stream's banks, red alders, discernible as a darker, shinier stripe, wind through the needle forest. Mature 40-year-old red alders can grow to 24 meters in the open, but like the Douglas firs that now overshadow them, they are intolerant of shade, and therefore, in this forest, will be short-lived. Long before they reach their full height, the older ones will die out, leaving the forest floor open and dark, and somewhat monotonous. But for now, at ground level, their smooth, near-white trunks are like beams of muted light in the dim undergrowth. Wilson's warblers, solitary vireos, and in winter, dark-eyed juncos find them a reliable source of insects, spiders, and seeds. They're called red alder because there is a red pigment in their inner bark. Every year, a Coast Salish family climbs up to the old burn and camps for 1 or 2 nights by the stream bed. During the day, they peel off the red alder bark in triangular strips, being careful not to girdle the tree's stem and to leave the living cambium layer unscathed, roll the triangles into tight scrolls, and when they break camp, carry them down to their coastal village. There they will pound the inner bark to release the color, mix it with fish oil, and use the mixture to decorate their red cedar bark clothing and dog hair blankets. The coast people are conscious of living a life safely balanced between 2 nurturing zones, the sea before them and the forest behind. They are not so concerned about above and below, the sky and the earth, but of the coast and the forest. They are knowledgeable and experienced. At night, in the red alder camp, the house leader teaches the names and properties of the trees. The bark of the western hemlock makes a grayish-brown paste with which the people dye their fishing nets, making them invisible to the salmon. The western red cedar they use for their canoes, longhouses, tools, and medicines. The large leaves of the big leaf maple make excellent berry baskets. Cottonwood leaves are good for bandages because they stick to the skin when crushed. Douglas fir is light but very strong, a fuel tree. Its bark burns exceptionally well, though it sends out many sparks, and its green boughs are burned in sweat lodges to cleanse human minds and hearts. The house leader also tells stories of the flood tree, for example, the sacred madrone or arbutus, in which the early people, adrift in their dugout canoe during the Great Flood, found shelter and were saved. All the stories connect the land and the sea, as do the people themselves.
Hello, and welcome to the Larch Podcast. My name is Jenny. You can find me on Instagram as Lone Larch Designs, on Etsy as Lone Larch Designs, and on Ravelry as Jentastic or Lone Larch Designs. How is everyone doing? I am doing well. Emmy and I spent the morning putting Christmas lights in our massive spruce trees. Well, I spent the morning I cleaned out the spruce tree, one of the spruce trees, and then no one has ever touched that tree, I don't think, in its life, and it had all sorts of broken branches, and it needed some love and affection. So I spent the morning up there, and then Emmy was my groundie, and she sent me up strings of lights. So we got that done this morning, and then after lunch, Emmy spent, a good hour swinging around in the trees and climbing up as high as she could, and then would get scared and come down. She ended up getting like 30 feet up, which is about half the height of that tree. I was very impressed that she was brave enough to go that high. And it's not a very nice day. It's raining now, and it's kind of windy, so the whole tree is swaying, and she's like, "Mom, it's really weird to climb a tree when it's moving." Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It's a little scary, but she's a tough little kid. It's impressive. So here we are. It's a lovely Sunday afternoon. Emmy's now in the bath warming up because she's cold. But yeah, I figured I would record so that you guys wouldn't think that I had disappeared. Yeah, so last weekend, April and some of her family and Emmy and I went for a little hike, which was cool. We found some waterfalls. It's called Star Creek Falls near Blairmore, Alberta, which is in the pass, which is right in between where April and I live. So we met for a lovely walk in the forest, and we had a great time. It was kind of gross out, and we were not very well dressed for the weather. It was lovely here when we left, and in the past it ended up being disgusting and windy. Shocking. I mean, yeah, I was not thinking when we were preparing for this, but it ended up being pretty gross, so we didn't spend a whole lot of time outside, but we found a cool spot and then headed back to Blairmore for some hot chocolate and some treats, which was really cool. It's fun living in a new place and being able to find all of these little coffee shop gems and stores that I've driven through the pass so many times and I've never known that such an awesome little coffee shop was there. Another place that we went to, it was actually before the hike, was the yarn shop that is in Blairmore. It's called A Nest of Needles, and actually they're closing, which really sucks. I think the owner is retiring. So there was a big sale, which is good, but terrible at the same time, because it was really nice having that little yarn shop there. It's pretty awesome. They have a good mix of yarns. So anyway, we stopped there and I picked up a few things. And April picked up a few things, and Eden even picked up a few things and a crochet hook. So we'll see how that all plays out. Who else got stuff? I think that was it. But anyway, we had a lovely weekend. Yeah, hanging out in the forest together. That's been about it for adventures, other than walking Rosie in the forest here. It's funny how when we first moved here, it was all exciting and so magical to be able to just walk into the forest and go. And I would record every step that we took. And now it's like, okay, let's just take the dog for a walk. Which magical forest shall we choose today? We're getting spoiled already. Yeah, but yeah, smiles on my face. So there was that. What else was I going to share with you? I was going to show you a book that I'm reading. I'm only like a chapter in, but I'm really enjoying it so far. So I thought I would share with you guys what I'm reading, because I know lots of people, lots of you do read. This is Pax by Sarah Pennypacker. I can't read backwards. Pennypacker, yeah. And it's about a fox, and that's all I'm going to say. I think is that a lie? Is it a young adult book? I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's good. It's well written, and I'm enjoying it so far. So go grab that one from the library if you are looking for something interesting to read. Yeah, so let's talk about some knitting. I had great plans to finish Rosie's sweater and have it be done, and then cast on some other stuff at that point after Rosie's sweater was knocked off my list. Well, that didn't happen. Last week, Kate sent me some yarn, and 2 weekends before that, I think Amy came to visit, and she brought me yarn and a pom-pom from Willow and Wool, the yarn store in Airdrie. So clearly I had to cast some stuff on. So I did, and they're beautiful. So they're in here. I'll show you. This is one of my bags. I have one of these in the shop. It has a blue zipper as well, but I've had my eye on this one since I made it. So I decided that I deserved a new knitting bag because I'm ridiculous and So the first thing is the yarn that Amy gave me. I gotta grab the pom-pom, hold on. It's over here.
Oh, hi, Frank. Are you hiding under the table?
Oh, that's Conan. Oh no, that's Rex. Okay, hold on. I have to be very gentle so I don't bash cords and things. There we go. Rosie's trying to get inside. It is absolute disgusting mess soup outside today. All of the snow that we got melted, and so now it's just a mud pit everywhere. So Rosie no longer has in and out privileges on her own through the dog door. I'm controlling that. She's not happy with that at all. So this is the yarn that Amy brought me because she's awesome. This is a Mineville wool project. I kept the tag, I'm pretty sure. Of course I kept the tag. It's been sitting on the counter for 3 weeks. Mineville wool project. And it's a merino DK, superwash merino. And this is the color. I don't know, they don't, oh, number 3103 is the colorway. And it looks like a mountain to me. I really like the colors. And this is what it is becoming. Shockingly, a hat. This is going to be a new free pattern that I'm going to put up. And yeah, that's that. It's super simple pattern. But I haven't put up a free pattern for a while. I figured so I would dream up a new one and put it up. What do I have to say about this? It is self-striping very nicely, as these variegated yarns tend to. And it's good. I like Mineville Wool Project a lot. The base is lovely. It's very squishy and tightly spun. And the price is just awesome. Like, I think she took the, yeah, these are 20 bucks. I think the price has actually gone up because I think the last one that I bought was like 18. So I think they're a great deal, and their color choices are always really interesting. So, and this is the pom-pom that she got to go with it. Oops, sorry. So I'm pretty pumped for this hat to be finished, actually, because this is a very good neutral hat that I can wear with all of my many coats. I have a bit of a coat collection. I don't know if any of you know that, but I have an obsession with coats. But most of them are turquoise or blue in color. And so when I have like the hat that I made last podcast that I had finished, that was a Lane hat, right? Out of Things Created Equal. I love that color. I love that yarn, but it clashes with all my coats except for one. So I need some neutrals apparently. Yeah, so that's that. Amy is awesome and her color choice is perfect. The other thing I have hiding in here is Kate sent me some yarn, and it is a worsted. And this is her Layla colorway. This is beautiful yarn as well. And she wanted me to just test it out and see what I thought about it. I don't know if I'm supposed to be telling these things, but she wanted me to test it out, so I'm testing it out. And so I just cast on a Bramble, which is one of my other free patterns. The free pattern that's on Ravelry right now is in a fingering weight. I already have made a DK version, but apparently I didn't add that version to Ravelry. I thought I did, but I didn't. Thanks for calling me on that, Kate. But so I already have a DK version on there, and I am working on this worsted version. So all it is a cowl. It's like a neck tube. I don't know what else to call it. And it's very low profile because I wear them underneath my coats, my many, many coats that are quite tight fitting on me. So it's just a nice little layer to stop that cold wind from coming down your neck. So that's that. I'm really loving this. I wanted something, I'm not feeling socks right now, though I have sock yarn that I really want to cast on, but I'm not feeling it for like the mindless just stockinette knitting forever. I'm just not feeling it, so that's why I decided to cast on another bramble. Because it's a super easy pattern. It's obviously, as you can see, mostly it's like just ribbing on the top, and then it's pretty much knit forever. You hit a spot where you do like a decrease round every inch, but other than that, like, it's so mindless, and just I enjoy it. If you want to really enjoy yarn and like enjoy a colorway coming out, or just a really nice base that you like, I find the bramble very meditative and very pleasing to really enjoy the yarn. So those are the two things that are hiding in that bag, and I've kind of been flipping back and forth between these two and trying to finish Rosie's sweater. My motivation has completely dissolved for her sweater. But we did do glamour shots of her in her sweater, and it is fitting quite well. And I don't have far to go. I mean, I'm very close to being done. I was going to try and get it done this weekend, but probably not. Because Christmas lights and cleaning the house and food preparation for the week and cuddling my child and fighting with the dog and wearing, yeah. I found these amazing pajama pants at the thrift store. Do you want to see them? Sasha, these are for you. As soon as I saw these, I thought, okay, well, that's the decision made. What would Sasha do? Sasha would bring these home. They are fleecy, and they have snowflakes on them. I haven't worn anything else since I brought them home and washed them from the thrift store, other than when I was climbing the trees this morning. I did not wear them climbing the trees because the spruce would have torn them up. Anyway, so Rosie's sweater. Yeah, so I made a sweater once. I made a sweater once for myself. That was one of, what's it called? June's favorite sweater. And I would like to make another one because I love it and I wear it so much. But I once made a sweater for myself that took 3 skeins of yarn. I might be my dog that is also going to take me 3 skeins of yarn. I came to the realization after looking through her measurements to figure out what the calculations were going to be for the pattern. And I realized that our measurements are actually quite close, which I find hilarious. She has such a big barrel chest. Yeah, and I am a very small human. Yeah, I am the same size as my dog. So anyway, she is mad. Can you hear that banging? That's her like hitting the flap into the dog door cover that is stopping her coming in. I don't want to go wipe her feet again. She can wait for 5 minutes. Okay, so this is her sweater. It is just a big tube with leg holes, essentially. I shouldn't say that because there actually is a lot of shaping and a lot of thought put into this. And here goes my yarn. So obviously head, neck, and then there's her legs. And then you can see, I mean, there's a huge amount of shaping on her neck because her chest, it gets so big so fast. And then it gets so small so fast. So I am altering the pattern because Rosie's a hound and they're shaped strangely. So there's actually, the pattern that I'm using is, I can't remember, I'll write it at the bottom. There's no shaping, there's no waist shaping in the pattern. It's pretty much just stop knitting and then put some ribbing on and be done. But it's not going to cover like half of her back if I do that because she is so long backed. So I just started doing mass decreases. So about right here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but where is it? The end of this stripe right here, the end of this Kara stripe right here, where it turns back into crystal, Fiddly Dye Works is the yarn. I started doing mass decrease rounds. I hope you can sort of see that on the, yeah, I guess you can. I started doing mass decrease rounds. I got rid of, I think, 25, 30 stitches maybe. And then I decided to just start doing short rows to make her back longer so that her belly's not completely covered too. Because if I actually made it to fit her belly as well, there's no way it would be big enough around her belly to get it over her head and over her chest. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Is it driving you crazy? Did you open the door? How did you do that? How did you open the door? How did you do that? Are your toes clean? Oh, it's okay. Caught the phone. We're all good. She's not making too many puppy prints. All right, have fun. Just looking at your sweater. Yeah, so I started doing short row shaping along her back. And I'm trying to see if there's a spot. You can't really tell yet because I've only done, I think, 3 rows of the short rows. So I'm going to do a whole bunch of short row shaping down her back and then do another decrease row and then throw some ribbing on there and have a nice day because I'm over it and it's a dog sweater. The fanciest dog sweater. The fanciest dog sweater in all the land. But I don't know. It's a fun little experiment, I guess. So I'm enjoying that, but I'm so over it. I'm enjoying knitting. Okay. I'm not enjoying knitting the pattern because I'm over the pattern, but I am enjoying knitting the yarn, if that makes any sense. I'm still enjoying the yarn for sure. And I am mixing bases. I am a rebel, apparently, when I mix bases. I don't see a problem with it, and whatever, it's a dog sweater. But this is Karis in Organic Merino, which I'm not sure if Kate actually carries anymore. That I might be telling you something that means nothing. But that's Karis in Organic Merino, and this is Crystal in her DK base. Both of these, Karis is still a color. Crystal, she is not sure. It's not in stock right now. It didn't turn out the way she wanted it, so I'm not sure if you can actually get it. Send her an email. She's more than accommodating. So yeah, that's Rosie's sweater. Please, oh please let it be done soon. I'm so done with it. That's it. That's all I'm knitting right now. I guess that is pretty good. It's like, because where was I last time? Maybe at the armholes? I don't know. Doesn't matter. So yeah, that's Rosie's sweater. I think I'll show you what I got at the yarn shop. And then a couple things that are new to me that I just wanted to share. Hi, Poppers. Did you want to come say hi? Do you want to come say hi? Don't you come up and say hi and get a scratch? Okay, come here. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, there she is. Oh, good girl. You need some chin scratches? Yeah. It's getting rainy out there, hey? It's getting rainy out there. Very nice and warm. Please show me how you open that dog door. That's an interesting development that we should probably fix, hey? Did you break the dog door? I hope not. I don't need another thing to fix. So we got, I don't know if you can see it, we got Rosie this new tag. Oh yeah, you can totally see it. Because normally she just has like hanging down jingle bells tags, and they drive me insane because she gets up in the middle of the night, turns 3 times in a row, scratches, and then shakes. And those jingle bells are so loud, I wake up all the time. So we got her this tiny tag that goes right on her collar. Rosie, there we go. And it's very interesting. It's just elastics. It's not just elastics, like it's actually very well made. But you can write whatever you want on it, and it's full of dirt already. And then it just goes around her collar so it doesn't jingle. It doesn't jingle when she does stuff. When she moves, no more jingle bells. And it's the happiest day of my life. It's really cool. The place where we got it is called Road ID. I found them on Instagram. It was some commercial that popped up on Instagram, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to bite on this one because that would bring me a lot of joy. So, fancy tags. Okay, go see Emmy. Where's Emmy? Where's Emmy? Go get her. Go get her. That's it. That's all I have to say. Go find Emmy. Where is she? She's in the bath. You can go drink her bath water like a gross dog. Go. It's so gross. She goes in there and tries to drink the bath water when, ugh, yuck. Blech. Anyway, okay, so yarn store. So we went, we found, we conquered. The first thing I got there is a Malabrigo Archangel, Malabrigo Rios Pure Merino Superwash. And this is a colorway that Grandma Nancy has made Emmy a hat out of. And she loves that hat very much. However, it's too small for her. So when we found the same colorway, she lost her mind a little bit. And so now I'm going to make her a new hat out of that. I don't know when. Maybe by the time next winter comes. We will see. We will see. So that is something that we found and got a great deal on. Ding. Oh, just an email that I don't care about. The other thing that we found there. What is that? Oh yeah, right. Isn't that funny when you... Oh, no, Jared. No, I'm sorry. No. Sorry, I can't talk to you right now. I'll call him back. What time is it? Why is he phoning me at 3? Uh-oh. Maybe I should phone him back. Okay, so these are some things that I found as well. This is a brand I've never used before, Ella Ray. I think it's a Still. Is it a Still? That's the company? No, maybe not. Anyway. Oh, phone. Come on. Just turn. There we go. Yeah, so look at that color. I mean, shocking why I picked that up, right? Totally shocking. But that's the brand, Ella Ray. It's not lace merino. It's a fingering weight. Superwash extra fine merino. So my plan is to make a shawl of some sort with it. I got 2 of them, and they're gorgeous. It was one of those "you're gorgeous, you're coming home with me" purchases, which honestly doesn't happen that much to me, I don't think. Honestly, there's usually a project in mind for me now, but those are going to be good, right? I think so. Very much my color palette. And they're pretty reasonably priced too. $24 each. Obviously Canadian, but I thought that was pretty good. It says 3 on here, light 3. Oh, they are smaller skeins. I wonder if it's more of a sport. Whatever, I'll figure it out. I just love the base. I am a sucker for the high twist. I don't know if you can see that, but that high twist base brings me great joy. So we found those, and Emmy found something I did not think that she would ever want. But I gave her free rein. I get it. Blah, blah. It's your choice. Grab something that you want me to make you a little shawl out of, and I'll make you a shawl out of it. So this is what she found. Which, like, I get that it's sparkly, but other than that, these colors are so not Emmy. But this is what she came up with. So we got 2 skeins of this. I'm looking for the tag. Hold on. Oh, it was the receipt I saw, not the tags. Oh, where did they go? I'll put at the bottom what it is, but it's actually a lace weight. I thought it was fingering. It is not fingering. It's lace weight. So my plan is to double it up with this that I have from Knit City 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Trying to think. 3 years ago. Holy cow. 3 years ago. Yeah. So this is Seawall Fibers. They are from the East Coast of Canada. I think. Is that a lie? Pretty sure. Aren't they from Nova Scotia? Yeah. Yeah, but okay. Yes. I'm not lying to you. Seawall Fibers on Etsy. I actually haven't heard a lot from them in a long time, so I don't know if they're dying anymore. But this is their quartz sock, 4-ply fingering, 75 superwash merino nylon. And it's a good little gradient, which I thought would be cool to put with Emmy's stuff. And it has, like, these ones do have a nice little brown undertone to them. So I think they will pair very nicely. My plan is to make her a cowl kerchief. I don't know what to call it, but make it start it like a shawl, but then connect it and then make it like a cowl so that it stays on her, because she has a couple shawls that I've made for her, but they don't stay put, and we have to like tie them in knots so that they don't go running away on her, because she's just so bouncy, right? So that is my plan to get away from the falling off shawl, is to just make it a cowl, but still have like the drapiness of a shawl, because she likes that fanciness, because she's fancy. I don't know where she gets the fancy from, but so that's my plan. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to do light by her face and then darker down at the bottom. So we'll start and see if I even like the pairing, and we'll go from there. I don't know. It was such a weird choice, what she picked. I was shocked, but I'll figure something out. So we got those. This is, yeah, deep stash. I told you that. And the last thing that April gave me when I met them is amazing. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. It may just sit in my stash for all time, which is kind of sad, but at the same time, this is very precious. It's very precious. So every year, April goes to Lake Louise, Chateau Lake Louise, for a conference for school. And if you don't know what Chateau Lake Louise is, it is a very fancy pants hotel. Very fancy pants hotel. That is right at the shores of Lake Louise in Banff National Park, and it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And one of the stores, I've actually been there. Long story short, Jared and I and my parents went on a trip there and stayed one night at the chateau, and we wandered around the basement, where, I guess not the basement, but the ground floor where all these fancy pants shops are. And I saw this stuff, and it was kind of before I was a knitter, or that I was a hardcore knitter, as I explain it to most people. But I do remember picking this stuff up and just my mind being blown. And I'm sure you all know what it is. She got me one tiny skein of "You Can't See" because the tag is being blown out. There it is. It's Kiviot. Kiviot is made from the hair of muskox. I'll put it, no, it's not going to stay there. And it's hilarious. The lady was trying to tell April, I can give you patterns that you can use for this yarn, and she's trying to explain all the care and everything for it, and April just, with a respectful and kind voice, said, "It's okay. The person that I'm giving it to has all of that under control." So I don't know what the heck I'm going to do with it. I'll probably come up with something magical, but it comes with all these fancy papers, care guide, Kvyat.com. Storing instructions. The boutique, the card of the boutique that she bought it from. All of these things. The nature of luxury. So fancy. So fancy. But these skeins are like $1 million each. So April's like, I love you, but I could only love you this much. which is amazing and totally fine. She got me color 2062, which is this beautiful thing. So it's actually not 100% Kvyat. It is 45% Kvyat, 45% extra fine merino, and 10% mulberry silk. So it is just, the other thing too is that it's like the ball band has like this sheen to it. It's shiny. It's like a ribbon almost. So, and the cake is so tiny and gorgeous. I don't know if I'll ever be able to use it. I may just have to gaze at it. I'll probably just put it up on my shelf for a very long time and gaze at it as I'm sewing or knitting. It's just beautiful. It's so beautiful. And it is genuinely like ridiculously soft. So if you don't know what a muck socks? Muck up? I can't say the word at all. How do you say it again? Oh my goodness. I'm ridiculous. Muskox. There's an S in there, right? Muskox. They are the weirdest looking animals in the world. They look like aliens. Like they look kind of like buffalo. You can't really tell, I'm sorry. They look kind of like buffalo, only like they have this beautiful flowing hair all over their body and these tiny little hooves that peek out the bottom, and they just run across the tundra in the Arctic, and it's crazy. Just look it up. They're the weirdest looking animals, and then they have these great big horns that look like kind of like a water buffalo. They come out of their top of their head and they look like they have really, really gelled down hair, and then turn into horns. They're the weirdest looking creatures in the world, and they have the softest hair. So that they even put it in like a fancy bag so that it doesn't get harmed. It'll probably stay in this fancy bag and go on my shelf. Delicate yarns. So what else did I want to tell you? I wanted to tell you about 2 patterns that I came across recently, except I didn't do my homework and look them up to tell you the actual details. So I'm going to turn my phone off and look it up for you so that I can not tell you lies. So the first thing I was going to show you is how can I find this fastest? The new Pip and Pin sock pattern, which I think is awesome. And if you did her mini sock swap, not mini sock swap, what is it called? She's doing like a minis swap. So you send her, I think this is how it works. You send her a skein of yarn and then she cuts it up into minis, and then she mixes it with a bunch of other ones that she's been sent, and then she sends you a package of all these minis, which I think is a fantastic idea. Now Whiskey's playing with yarn on the floor. Great. But she just released this sock pattern to kind of go with the minis. The sprocket socks, of course, that's what it's called. The sprocket socks are now on Ravelry, and I think they're awesome. It's a fun way to use scraps. I'm not going to know at all if you can see this because I no longer have my preview screen, but those are the sprocket socks. So check those out because Megan's rad and it's a good little stash buster. The other pattern that I was going to tell you about that I came across in a weird way, I actually don't know how old this pattern is, but it's new to me. No, how do I find her? So if you know Natalie from Remembrance's Pottery, I have hairs in my mouth and it's annoying. She has a pattern. I didn't know that she was a designer. I'm so out of the loop. I don't spend any time watching people anymore or like really putting the Instagram time in that I used to because I don't. I have other things to do, but she has this pattern that's called the Tree Farm Socks. Is that what it is? I just want to make sure I'm not lying to you. Tree Farm Socks. And this is sort of what they look like. This is a progress picture of them. I hope you can see that. But this popped up on Instagram the other day, and I went, yep. Even though I'm really terrified to make socks with colorwork in them because I'm afraid they won't fit, I think what I might do is cast them on with a DK, the smallest size in a DK, so that I can have lovely house socks, because I like house socks and I only have one pair. And I'd like to have more. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Stay tuned to see how that works out, because it might be a disaster, but whatever. I'm just trying to find out where, like, what her name is on, how do I do this? Use your brain, Jenny. What her name is on Ravelry, so that you know what to look for. My pattern socks, there we go. Oh, that was easy. So she's Remembrances Pottery on Instagram, but her real name is Natalie Sheldons. Of course, I knew that. Oh man, why didn't I remember that? But, oh, look at all her socks. She has all sorts of colorwork socks. She has the Bee Whisperer. Let's see, let's look, guys. Yeah, so if you want to make colorwork socks, holy cow, go look at hers. That's the Bee Whisperer. I really hope you can see these. Bee Whisperer. She's got all sorts. Midnight Snow, Bridget's Garden Socks, Tree Farm Socks. What are these? Charlotta the Fourth? Wow. Look at that. Yeah, those are awesome. Anyway, so those are two patterns that caught my eye, and I thought that I would share with you guys because they're cool. And I know that you can't see everything that is out there. So I thought I'd just give you a little look of what I've been seeing. That's all I have. That's all I have to say. I am tired, and I am kind of sad that it's already Sunday night and that I don't have more downtime, but we have hamburger soup bubbling behind me that I can really start to smell, which is lovely. And tomorrow's another day. I hope you guys stay well. I hope that you are doing well. Oh, I wanted to say, I did have an email arrive from somebody out on the coast, and they were very apologetic that they were making contact with me. And I want you all to know, don't ever apologize for contacting me. I enjoy those emails, just the little whatever, touch bases or sharing a little bit of your life in those emails. I absolutely love them. And like progress pictures of my designs or anybody else's, I don't care. I just love seeing what everybody else is working on, and the fact that you take time to show me is awesome, and I really appreciate it. So don't feel bad. And that's it. Have a good couple of weeks, and I will see you soon. Big kiss. Bye. Mwah.